The NGX All-Share Index just logged a whooping 1.13% gain this week. And for those of you who are wondering what's the All-Share Index, the All-Share Index is just an index that measures the movements in the market. Just look at it like a once it shows the temperature of your body. When your body is high, it goes high. When your body is low, it goes low. That's exactly what the All-Share Index is. It regulates the temperature, not regulates, it shows the temperature of the market. So we had a whooping 1.13 gain this week in the Nigerian stock market, which is encouraging for us compared to the 4 weeks straight red, back-to-back red that we've been having. But it's not all sunshine. So smart money is just rotating behind the scene. But let's just dig to see what really happened. Welcome to the weekly NGX All-Share wrap-up here on the Eagle's Eye View. And in this video, I'll show you how the market performed and the sector that I am looking at, right? You don't want to miss that recommendation. The sector that I'm currently eyeing, and I'm expecting some massive moves in that sector. And then I'm going to show you the key levels in the All-Share Index. So enough of all the talk. Let's just get straight into the chart. All right. So if you watched two wrap-ups before now, I mentioned that market could come into this zone because this is a gap, and the gap is attracting the market into the space, right? But we had from last week, I also mentioned, I'm going to show you on the 15-minute time frame or on the 4-hour time frame. I also mentioned from last week that there was a key area, and if we break it, and market did exactly as I predicted, I gave two possibilities, right? And market broke out, and when it did, it gave exactly the move. You can check the video out during the week. I also dropped the video explaining what actually happened in the market. You also want to look into that video, right? It's going to be on the card. Just click the card that you're seeing and you will see the video there. So let's just go right into it. Now, this is what happened in the Nigerian stock market this week. This candle you are seeing here, this is the weekly time frame. We had successful 4 weeks of red, and now we are back into the market, right? Now we're back into the market. We're looking at market coming down into this zone, but from the look of things, we may not get back there because the bulls are back in the market. Although the week ended today on a 0.08%, which is like 111.6 basis points off the grid from Thursday, which is yesterday, right? So, but it's such an encouragement for us to see, because it really shows that market is we are getting back into the market. And here we have the daily time frame, and you can see on the daily time frame this is the daily time frame, and you can see here on the daily time frame we had 4 days, 5 days actually, right? We had 5 days. We had 5 days back to back green, and then today it ended in a red. But nothing to panic, right? Because what we have is what we have in the market this week alone has proven to us that the bulls are back in the market, right? So let's go into the 4-hour time frame, which I will explain what actually happened in the market. Okay, the 4-hour time frame is not even displaying it, but you can see on the 4-hour time frame here. You can see on the 4-hour time frame here what happened in the market today. These 4 candles here, these 2 candles here, right? They showed what happened in the market today. We had market open somewhere around this point, and then and we had market open somewhere around this point, and the market dropped by 2 candles red, right? And the third candle, which gave us the close, market was trying, the bulls were coming back into the market. This shows confidence, right? This is boosting our confidence in the stock market. So let's go into the 15-minute time frame. The 15-minute, I love the 15-minute time frame because it breaks down to us what actually happened in the stock market in detail. It's just more like zooming in into the details to capture what really happened in the market. So here is the 15-minute time frame. You can see that the market give us exactly. Now if you watch the video, I recommend you go to watch the video, because it's more like a story, right? You may not understand what we're doing now if you haven't watched the video, the last week's recap. And if you have not watched the one before that, you may not understand what's going on, right? So you just have to keep catching up to know exactly what's happening in the market. Because if you don't follow it like a story, you will just jump into the river and you don't know where the river is coming from. You don't know where the river is going to. So, but right now, for those of you who watched my video last week, you know exactly what's happening here. So last week I gave two predictions. Market closed somewhere around here, right? And I said if we break, because this is a major resistance, this blue line you're seeing here is a major resistance line, right? And market has been rejecting along that path, I think twice or thrice thereabouts. Right? Market has been bouncing off that place all the way to the downside, right? So I mentioned that if we're able to break this, right? So I mentioned that from here, if we're able to break this, we would come here and then we will retest. We will retest. And market, it happened exactly just like I said it. And after the retest, which is market came all the way to this place, and then boom, that's from here, and then the move, right? And then the move. So like I mentioned some key areas too. I mentioned somewhere around here. If you watch the recap I did somewhere around the week, I think that was Wednesday or so, I dropped that market is going to react to this zone, and you can see market reacting to the zone, which was what happened today and here before market is going. So hopefully within the week we're expecting market to do more of this. And of course, we're not just expecting market to just keep going up. So we're expecting market to do some retest before going all the okay before going all the way up to where it's going to. So where are we looking at? What are we expecting the market to do? Let's take this off, right? So we can see clearly. Now we're expecting market to come to this zone. We're expecting some reaction from around this area. When market comes here, we should be seeing a little bit of pullback before, and then our major resistance, we're expecting markets to react also around here. We're expecting the market to react around here. So this is basically what we're expecting over the coming weeks. Market come here, and then since this was a major resistance, right? Since this was a major resistance, we're expecting market to just come here and a little pullback. That might happen over the course of next week, and then rally up to this place. Now if the market comes here, this is a serious determining point, because it's the major high, right? It's the major high we had before market dropped. So we're expecting market to do this and then come back a little, just a little. The market, Nigerian stock market, is surprising, right? We could even see the market just break without this pullback, but I'm expecting the market to do this, right? And maybe even to come back a little bit down to retest, right? To retest this particular zone before we can continue the upward movement. That is it, guys. That is it for the all-share index. So we had market close last week. The market closed at around an approximate of 1,100, at an approximate of 139,000 basis points, right? And this week we're having market close at 140,545.7 basis points, which is like a good indication, right? Which is a good indication to us that the buyers are getting back into the market. So let's now move into my my sector recommendation for the next week, right? My sector recommendation. since the market is pulling back, right? Market is going back. We should also look at, I mentioned from last week that we'll be looking at some sectors that we want to invest in. So that will lead me to my recommendation for the day, sector recommendation for the day, which is the banking sector, right? So I was looking at this. Let me. So I was looking at the banking sector, and I saw something very interesting, right? So the banking sector has been dropping. Of course, you know what happened over the course of 4 weeks, right? So now the banking sectors, the banks are beginning to retrace, right? So we are expecting, for those of you who bought some banking stocks and then the stocks were not doing well, I mean, this is more like an encouragement to you. This is what I'm expecting the market to do. So over the course of next week, when I saw this, the market was somewhere around here, right? When I saw it during the week, the market was somewhere around here. So we have this particular resistance, right? We have this major resistance line. I am really expecting markets to break this, because there's a whole lot happening in the banking sector. GT Bank listing in the London Stock Exchange. Uh, what's the name now? Uh, Union Bank, Union Bank merger with, what's the name again? Sorry, I can't even remember. But there's a whole lot happening in the banking sector, and a lot of them, a couple number of banking sectors are beginning to launch their stock trading applications, which is, I mean, people would trust them over some other stock brokers. And some of these banks actually had this before now, but we just did not know for whatever reason. We just did not know. But people are beginning to adopt, people are beginning to take them in. So I'm expecting the banking sector to push. And of course, as it is always, when the market breaks above a major resistance line, right, it tries to come back and then retest before the move. So if you are looking at if you are looking at investing in the banking sector, if you are looking at investing in the banking sector, I think this is your right move. But we'd be expecting the market to cross around the range. That's the NGX index, right? The NGX banking index. Again, just like I mentioned, the all share index. What happens in the NGX banking index? It collects all the data from the banking stocks, all of them, their price, and then it's more like indicates what's happening in the banking sector. So if you do not have the luxury of going to look at each bank to say what's GT Bank doing, what is Zenith Bank doing, what is Union Bank doing, you don't have to go through all of that. You just have to come and say, look at the NGX banking index. Or when you look at the banking index, it tells you what is happening in the banking sector, right? So and this, you can do this for the consumer goods, you can do it for the oil sector, and any sector you want to invest in. You would have to, which is more like doing your diligence, doing your due diligence, right? It's just more like doing your due diligence. You have to bury your head down and research, right? You know, have to know what's happening in the industry before you get into what's happening in that particular stock, that particular company. So that's the wrap up for the week's All Share Index update. Drop your trade ideas in the comment section below, right? Drop your trade ideas in the comment section below, and then I will review them. And if you are getting value, no, not if you are getting value, you are obviously getting value, right? You're obviously getting value because we've been doing some predictions, and if you have been following, you most likely made the best decisions, right? You most likely made the best decisions. So do well to hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to the Eagle's Eye View so that you will see the next wrap up. I'm bringing a whole lot of ideas coming in to teach us on some basic things that we might be overlooking, and some of them will be coming in over the course of next week. Some of them will be coming in over at some point during the month or next month. But stay tuned. Make sure you uh, hit the notification bell, right? So that whenever I drop video, you will be the first to be notified.